You got charged twice for a subscription you already canceled, or your account got locked with zero explanation, or you hit a usage limit that makes no sense and now you're stuck searching for a phone number that doesn't actually exist. That last part is the trap almost everyone falls into, and it's exactly why this video exists. This probably happened to you in one of a few specific ways, and the fix is different depending on which one it is, so we're going through each one in order. I only share methods that I test myself, so everything here came from actually working through OpenAI's real support channels, not from copying a list of fake numbers off a random website. Before we go further, like this video, drop a comment with which issue brought you here, and subscribe because the last section covers the one official contact method that actually works when nothing else does. Let's start with the single most common search: unexpected charges or billing problems. This usually happens one of two ways. Either a subscription renewed automatically after you thought you canceled, or a charge appears that doesn't match your plan at all. First, check your account's billing section directly inside the app because cancellations only take effect at the end of the current billing cycle, not immediately, and a lot of people cancel late and still get charged once more. If the charge is genuinely wrong, not just a timing issue, you'll need documentation ready before contacting anyone, specifically the exact date of the charge, the amount, and your account email. Second common issue: getting locked out or flagged for a policy violation you don't understand. This typically happens after unusual account activity, multiple failed logins, or content that tripped an automated safety filter, sometimes incorrectly. The fix here is not to keep retrying the same login over and over, because repeated failed attempts can extend the lockout instead of resolving it. Instead, use the official password reset flow first, since a large percentage of lockouts are resolved at that step alone without needing to contact anyone. Third common issue: hitting a usage limit or rate limit message that seems to appear too early. These limits reset on a rolling window tied to your plan tier, not a fixed calendar date, so what feels random is actually following a schedule you just can't see directly. If you're on a paid plan and limits feel unusually low, check whether you're on the correct model tier for your subscription, because a plan downgrade or a routing issue can quietly drop you into a lower tier without an obvious notification. Fourth common issue: a custom GPT or shared link that stopped working or disappeared entirely. This is almost always caused by either a change in the GPT's visibility settings or the original creator's account being suspended, which breaks the link for everyone who is using it. There's no self-fix for someone else's suspended account, so if this is your situation, that's genuinely a case where you need direct support involvement. Now here's the warning, and this is the part that will save you real money if you're watching this while frustrated. When people search for ChatGPT customer service, dozens of aggregator websites show up with official-looking 1-800 numbers, WhatsApp contacts, and live agent claims. Almost none of that is legitimate, and some of it is designed specifically to route frustrated urgent searchers into paid call forwarding services or phishing forms. There is currently no verified public contact number and no staffed live chat for ChatGPT support, and any page claiming otherwise with a toll-free number is not an official OpenAI channel. If a site asks you to call a number to verify your account or unlock billing, treat that as a red flag immediately, because legitimate support never requires a phone call to resolve an account issue.
The only channels OpenAI actually operate are inside their own help center domain and their own in-app support flow, nothing routed through a third-party consumer complaint site. Here's the golden tip that cuts your resolution time dramatically once you actually reach the real support system. Never open a support ticket empty-handed, because the single biggest delay in getting a resolution is back-and-forth requests for information you could have included from the start. Before you submit anything, gather your registered account email, the exact date and time the issue occurred, any error message text word for word, and a screenshot if the issue is visual. If your issue involves a workspace or team plan, also have your organization ID ready, since individual and business accounts route through different support queues entirely. Submitting a complete report on the first attempt, instead of a vague one-line description, is the difference between a same-week resolution and a 2-week email chain that goes nowhere. I test new AI deals every week. If a new free method comes out, you'll see it here first. If none of the self-fixes in this video solved your specific issue, here's the actual legitimate way to reach a real person. Go directly to OpenAI's official help center, not a search result, not a third-party site. The help center linked from inside your own account settings. From there, use the built-in help option to search your specific issue first. And if the automated suggestions don't resolve it, that same flow lets you submit a direct ticket to their support team. That ticket path is the real equivalent of a customer service line. It's just handled through their support queue instead of a phone call, and it's the only method that's actually tied to your verified account. In the next video, I'm testing exactly how fast that official ticket system responds across different issue types, from billing to account recovery, so you know what to actually expect before you file one yourself. And subscribing is the only way you'll see those real response times before you need them.